Let's see if Kathy finished downloading those reports from eLumen. Where do I find those again? Okay, I'm in my drive on Google. I think if I search outcomes, oh, gotta spell right. Outcomes analysis. Oh, that's probably gonna get me there. Let's see. I bet it's that folder, outcomes analysis action plans. There we go. And then if I just go up one level to my department, which is business and computer studies, I can see there's a folder for data and a folder for the outcomes analysis. Let's see if she put those reports under data for me. Fall 20 to spring 2021, that's last year. Let's check there. She's so organized with folders for each and every discipline. How convenient. Let's see if she did business. Oh, cool. All right. So I've got my reports from eLumen that my department chair downloaded for me. I'm going to download this as a PDF. So download. And then I want to actually open it with Adobe. So let me go show in folder, and then I'll open it that way. There we go. That's exactly what I needed. Awesome. All right. Let's go back to Drive. And I want to go up a couple levels here. Back to Business and Computer Studies, my department. And then I'm going to go to Outcomes Analysis for 2020, 2021. And here's my Outcomes Analysis tracking spreadsheet. So there's a template, and then there's some examples. And it looks like we started one for BCS 2021. So I'm going to go to that last one, but maybe if you're starting fresh, you'll take the template and you'll make a duplicate of it. So you can right click and hit duplicate. And then you might want to rename it Your Department 2021. Okay. Let's see, we have one going for BCS, so I'm going to get rid of this. Let's see, BCS 2021. We put our department name in the top left, Business and Computer Studies. And then, oh wow, it looks like somebody really awesome already filled in all the SLOs for accounting. That is really cool. I'm going to scroll down and maybe work on business this time. Oh, there's our professional bookkeeping degree and certificate. So it looks like all of the accounting courses followed by the related degree and certificate. But then when I get down to business, it's all blank. And even after that, then we have to fill in our degrees and certs and start filling in each of our courses by discipline. Good thing we only have to do this once for the first year, and then after that it'll already be populated. So what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to shrink this down so I can look at this spreadsheet side by side with my PDF. And really, I just have to do a little copy pasting here. So here's Biz 101, and this is SLO 1. So I'm just going to highlight, copy as Control C, and then I'm going to paste it over to my outcomes analysis spreadsheet. Not quite what I wanted. Let me paste it into the text bar up here. That's better. All right, then I'm going to grab SLO number 2, copy, Control C, and paste. I can do Control V. That looks fine. Back over here, copy again, Control C, back to my spreadsheet, Control V. Okay, that looks good. I should probably number those. SLO number 1, SLO number 2, SLO number 3. Oh, I wonder if there's a 4th SLO. I should check. Oh, there is a 4th SLO. Okay, So I can fix that, no problem. I'm just going to insert a row, insert one below. That's not what I want. I'm going to go right click again, insert one above. No problem. SLO 4, and I'll go back to my PDF and copy SLO number 4. Again, that's not the way I wanted it. It went into a second cell, so I'm going to undo that, and if I paste the text in the bar at the top, that looks better. Okay, so I've got SLO 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. Now I just have to drop the data in. So this part might be a little bit trickier. What you need to do is pull up snip and sketch, and you can just search for that in your search bar at the bottom, snip and sketch. I happen to use this all the time. It's a great tool if you're teaching and trying to show students something via email, but I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to grab my data for all of last year for all sections of Biz 101 for SLO number 1. So it comes here, and I just hit copy in the upper right, and then I go back to my spreadsheet, and I'm just going to click where I want it, and I'm going to paste. I can use Control V. Awesome. So then I go back to snip and sketch. Again, I'm going to say new. I'm going to go to the PDF. Oops, I hit something wrong. Hit new. And I'm going to grab this right here. Again, copy. Back to my spreadsheet and paste. I'm going to do it again. New. Come over here to SLO 3. Copy and paste. And then I'll need to do SLO 4, which is on the next page of my PDF. So let me get back to snip and sketch. So I'll say new. I'm just dragging over what I want to copy here visually. Copy and paste. Awesome. So I've got Biz 101, SLO 1, 2, 3, 4 all done. I've inserted the text of each SLO. I've inserted all the data from last year. And then ultimately what will need to happen is that the faculty from business are going to want to look at all of this and come up with their outcomes analysis, which we'll talk more about later. I'm going to give an example for one more course. Let's say I need to do Biz 105 next. So if I go back to this PDF that my department chair downloaded for me, I see Biz 105 is our next course in sequence. And again, I need to first populate the SLO wording. So I'm just going to copy those words, highlight, and then Control C. Back to my outcomes analysis spreadsheet, and I can paste it in the bar at the top. Let's see, SLO 2, again, copy and paste. And SLO 3, copy, paste. All right, that wasn't so bad. And it looks like just 3 SLOs for this course, so I'm just going to label them SLO 1, SLO 2, SLO 3, and then I just need to paste that data in again, which using snip and sketch isn't too bad. So snip and sketch, and I'm going to say new, and that looks about right. So I just highlight what I want. I hit copy, and then I go back to my spreadsheet. That's SLO 1, 2, and 3 are on the next page. So let me go to snip and sketch again, new, copy, and paste. And one more time, last one, back to Snip and Sketch, new, highlight, copy, and paste. Oh, that doesn't look like enough room there. I'm going to have to do some tidying up, right? So I can just drag these rows to make them a little bit bigger to fit what I'm doing. And then I just rearrange, okay? We're just visually trying to see everything. It doesn't have to be totally perfect. We just need to be able to see it, because the next step will then be looking at the data and analyzing it. All right, so we made it this far. The next step is going to be organizing our department, getting our faculty together to look at all of it. Okay, so I've got all of the business SLOs and their data pasted into the spreadsheet. What if I needed to add another course in here? So one way to do that, I can just highlight these couple rows. And then right click, and I'm going to say insert 3 below. And I kind of want to merge that. I'm just going to copy this and paste it there. And maybe this is for another course, Biz 250. And now I have space to work for another course as well. Let's see. Oh, I need to go through and number all my SLOs. A couple things I need to do to clean up in here. I've got an extra row here. I can delete that. So just clean it up. If you have more or less SLOs, you might need to add rows or delete rows. No big deal. Just a little formatting. So then once you get all of your SLOs and data in there, the real task, other than just kind of this busy work, by the way, I did all of accounting and business, and it took me probably about 10 minutes. So this shouldn't be incredibly time consuming. I think this is a doable task, definitely something that you could ask your program review rep to work on, or lead faculty for each discipline can help out, but it's not incredibly time consuming. It's a little bit tedious, but then once you get it down, it's not that hard. The real work is when we get to the outcomes analysis portion, where faculty really need to put their heads together and look at the outcomes data and decide what needs to be done in order to make some improvements. How can we get better success? Even if our success is already good, or maybe it's not so good, but how can we get better success? And so that's where the faculty need to really consider the data, and they know their courses inside and out and need to think about what changes can be made. Do students need more access to tutoring or additional resources? Do students have textbooks that are usable and readable? Do they have study groups? Do they have, should some kind of teaching methodology be changed? Do they need more lab equipment or computers? Is there something that they need? So that's where you're going to fill in the outcomes analysis column. And then you're simply going to answer the question, resources needed. And it's really just a yes or no question. So you're just going to type yes or no in the box. You can look back at some of the examples. Gary Heaton shared his from music, which you can see in the example tab here, Music 2020. And then I've also shared from accounting some of ours, including our outcomes analysis and resources needed. So there's some good examples on those previous tabs. And again, the template tab's on the far left. That's what you'd want to use to get this started. And then the idea is that once you have all of the courses and their SLOs filled in, you don't have to do that part again next year. So next fall, when it's time to do all of this, I'm just going to duplicate this sheet, and then I'll have another copy of it. I'll rename it BCS 2022. I'll remove the data and the outcomes analysis that are in there, and then I'll be ready to go. So this doesn't have to be, the tedious part doesn't have to be done year after year. That's a one-time thing. All right, well, I think that's it for now. Again, if you need help with this, talk to your program review division rep. Of course, feel free to reach out to me, Stacy Adams. You can email me at sadams21. And to the extent that you need any help with it, I'm more than happy to assist you. But I would suggest that you make some time for a department meeting and lean on your program review rep to help out as well. All right, you guys, good luck.